Good time. Hey, fly lady.
Peace, love, and light.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
hmm Peace, love, and light, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Love, Space, and Time podcast. I am your co-host, Nisha.
And I'm your other co-host, Vernon. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday and Sunday.
It is cold outside.
It's cold. It's cold out there.
So where do we begin today?
Let's see. Today, well, we got some good stuff lined up. We actually got some good stuff lined up. This episode, we're going to focus on navigating social media and digital boundaries. How to make sure that what's not supposed to be an issue is not an issue.
We hope and pray.
Drama and sucker free.
Drama and sucker free. And speaking of being drama free, let's give a big shout out to our sponsor.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Sponsors, Camnon Services, Camnon Business Services. For those of you who are budding entrepreneurs, small business owners, if you are looking to take your business to the next level, whatever that looks like for you, then you should get with the good folks over at Camnon Business Services. Make sure you visit the website, camnonservices.com, and have a free consultation. Figure out what the game plan is going to look like.
Yep, 2025, we plan to thrive
and stay alive.
Stay alive.
And rise. Don't forget about
and rise. Rise, thrive, and stay alive.
That's right. Don't be checking out of here.
All
right. So let's get to the getting. We got something good lined up today.
Well, we gotta cover our what's happened in the last week since we've been on here together.
We got over our cold. We got out of bed.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah. We about we in the high 90s.
We're in the high 90th percentile of wellness.
That's right. So we've come a long way, baby.
And we want to give a special shout out to Dr. Martin Luther King. His birthday is actually January 15th, 1929, but it was established as a national holiday on the third Monday in January in 1983. So tomorrow we will be celebrating nationally the life and legacy of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So,
yep. And it's supposed to be a day of service. So if you can, go out and do something kind, make a difference in someone else's life, serve someone and something other than yourself.
And also, the big topic of conversation today is this whole TikTok situation. That's 1 minute, it's off. People on social media crying and carrying on, and I get it. I was never at the point where I was using TikTok as a business, but when all this stuff started, I just took it off my phone because it was just too much of a distraction. That was one of the things that I'm just like, I can do without it. And so 1 minute it's banned, and then the next minute it's Donald Trump to the rescue. And honestly, I feel like it's the beginnings of a trauma bond.
A trauma bond? What's that?
A trauma bond. When someone allows this situation to build up and be so dramatic and everybody's afraid, and then they swoop in like Superman to save the day. And then you're in love with this person again because, they shook some crumbs off their plate to give you, and now you're satisfied. Trauma bond.
Like that's been going on for the last 20 years or so.
I'll never be satisfied, and we should never be satisfied with crumbs from anybody's table. So that's why I said it's a trauma bond. They get you all excited. Oh, we're going to take this away from you, this and that. And then, the great savior comes in and saves the day, and now we love him again. Nah,
Mhm.
no, thank
Don't believe
you.
the hype. Don't go for the okie doke.
Absolutely. I'm an advocate for a national social media blackout day, honestly, where people just take all of those social media apps off their phone for a 24-hour period just to show these so-called, what they call them, oligarchs and trillionaires and billionaires, that they don't run us. The people have the power. And if
Wait,
we turn our back to them for a 24-hour period, that will make an amazing statement.
but wait, what are people going to do in the meantime? Because if you tell people stop doing something and they don't fill the void, people's minds going to explode.
It's a 24-hour period. Just 24 hours. You mean
I
to
would
tell
like to.
me?
I would
You
like to
mean to
think
tell
that
me?
humanity has evolved to the point where we can do that. But unless we tell people what to do, you're going to have people who have a lot of problems with that.
Okay, so we're going to take, I'm advocating for a 24-hour period where you remove, uninstall all of your social media from your phone, Facebook, TikTok, fan base, and everything else that I am leaving out, Instagram, uninstall it from your phone and take that 24-hour period to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your family that you maybe haven't spoken to in some time. Go for a walk in the woods, reconnect with nature, reconnect with the God force that lies within you, and set a timer. So if you take it off your phone at 8 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't come back on your phone until 8 o'clock the next day. I'm an advocate for that. I believe we can do it as a human race. We can do it. We can turn our backs for 24 hours. And you turn your back to that to turn inward.
Mm.
So that is my vision. And I'm going to keep talking about it until it happens.
What does turning inward look like? What are people actually going to be doing instead of looking at Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever?
Yeah, turn inward. So you know how we've talked about healing generational curses and getting rid of the trauma that we have from our past experience. That would be a great opportunity to do that. Even if all you can do is take a pen and a piece of paper and write down some things that you've been wanting to express for a long time. At our spiritual center.
Good idea. Actually take that day and write out your vision. Write out what it is you desire to see come into fruition as your reality. Any area of life you like.
At our spiritual center, we're actually writing letters to God right now, and we're thanking God for all the things that we will see manifest in this year. We're writing letters to do that. And then maybe that's something someone else can do. Write a letter or write a letter to someone that you haven't spoken to in a long time that you need to heal the wound with. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was a rift in your relationship. Maybe this is a start of a healing process between you and that person. There's so many things that we could set our sights on instead of being a zombie looking at our phone all day.
Right. What somebody
a 24-hour period.
That sounds like a cool idea to me. I highly encourage it. My name is Vernon Muhammad, and I
you encourage that. Okay. So, and also the third thing that I want to introduce, and I'm going to play a little clip. So Vernon and I actually did a couple's affirmation some time ago, and we've held it very close to our heart because, we're sensitive about our shit. But here it is. I'm going to play a little clip, and this is going to be available in our private group that we have on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play a little bit.
And so it is.
We embrace peace and harmony in our relationship, trusting that love transcends distance.
We remain calm and understanding, valuing our emotional well-being above all.
So that's all you get for now.
That's all? I thought you
That's all you get. Just a little tidbit. Just a little tidbit.
Well,
but we're going to be sharing
that is specifically for the people who have joined the Facebook group So go on to Facebook and hit Love Space and Time LDR group. Join that group, and when you join that, you will have access to download that file and use it at your leisure.
And I do have one more ask. If you're watching this video and you have not followed our Facebook page, Love Space and Time Podcast, please do so, because we are working to get to 100 followers so that we can go live from our Facebook page as well. Right now, we're about 75% of the way. So if you're watching this video and you have not friended our Facebook page, Love Space and Time Podcast, I'm asking that you like and share that page as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's all the business.
All right. All right. So let's get to our episodes. Can y'all hear the dog in the background? You hear the dog in the background?
He's annoying.
Oh, well, what it is. Such is the life of dog lovers. All right. So we've got some good stuff lined up because the episode is about navigating social media and digital boundaries. So let's kick off the conversation, right?
Yes.
Social media can be used as a double-edged sword. Okay. And there's loads of good ways and good reasons to interact with as many people as you possibly can. But and of course, if you're in a long distance relationship, yeah, it can definitely serve a purpose for you to stay connected. Maybe you want to go beyond just texting one another. So social media gives you the opportunity to share little insights and little things that you come across during your day. And it helps to strengthen a bond, make you feel closer to the person that you're sharing with, right? Sharing photos, sharing interactive videos, comments, whatever the case may be. Fosters a sense of togetherness and togetherness despite the physical distance, right? But the negative, the con side, there's over-reliance on social media, which can lead to misinterpretations, lead to jealousy or unrealistic comparisons to other.
Not jealousy.
So how do you think we can navigate these challenges effectively? The challenges that come along with social media, letting TikTok, and Instagram, Facebook, and X be so prevalent in your life.
Can you give me 1 second? I need to turn something off. Hold on 1 second.
Turn it off now.
Turn it off.
But yeah, that's a real deal. If you allow, again, consuming what other people have for you to consume, that makes a big difference in whether somebody else or whether something outside of you is controlling your relationship, or whether you are in control of your relationship.
So what's the question again?
Question is, how can we navigate these challenges effectively? What's the outlook and the viewpoint and way that we should be looking at and using social media so that it doesn't become a hindrance as opposed to being something that's actually helpful?
So for me personally, in order to cut down on any possible drama or problems, I think that, the couple that's involved on social media needs to decide how you're going to represent your relationship to the world, basically, because it's social media, it's public, unless you keep your page very, very private. And depending on how much you post, I think that, you can go a lot of different ways with it. You can say, you can keep it at a bare minimum, I am in a relationship, and not say who you're in a relationship with. Or you can go ahead and say, I'm in a relationship with this person. So that's one way to say to the world, okay, I'm here on social media, but I'm also here with my partner who is always also on social media. So hopefully that will elicit the type of response that's respectful to your relationship. Now, that's coming from other people. As an individual, you need to, I always try to have a theme for the things that I'm posting on social media. So my theme is vibrate higher. That's my hashtag. So the things that I post have a certain theme to them. On my personal page, I'm a little more, I don't want to say cavalier, but I do talk a certain way on my social media page that's personal to me. And then on our Love, Space, and Time page, everything is about, relationships and about our podcast and things that are positive towards relationships. So, I'm the one that's more heavily involved in social media than you are. And sometimes I have to say to you, hey, did you see what I sent you? Because, I'll blow you up. Because I'll find a whole bunch of cute stuff and I want to send it to you and I want you to see it. And you're like, oh, I haven't even looked at my social media page today. So I kind of understand where we are. And the thing is for couples to understand where the other person is as far as their social media presence. I don't think it's necessary to, have passwords and all of that stuff. That to me just depends on how you trust your partner.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary to, have passwords to things. Vernon has shared a lot of things with me that I have not even asked for. Passwords to, accounts and this and that. And I honestly don't go digging. I use it when I need to, but it's not like, oh, let me go see what he's doing. No, because I trust him. And so it's definitely a conversation that you have to have with your partner as far as, how you want to present yourself to the public, and how far you want that to go. And, if you feel like you're being disrespected in any way, then that definitely deserves a conversation.
True. And my outlook on social media is personally and business wise, I'm trying to be consistent in how I represent myself and what I represent on social media platforms. So I don't do a lot of what's considered personal stuff because
Right.
I want my brand and the things that I represent to be put out there. And I don't want there to be any mixture between the two. If I post something on social media, it goes along with the theme that I'm known for trying to promote, and it goes along with any business activity that I'm trying to promote. And I want people to see that, only that. I don't want to make anybody a target, anybody that I care about a target. I don't want to make anything that I believe or think personally, come into the realm of whether or not somebody's going to choose to do business with me or not. Those two worlds are separate. And if somebody wants to find out who I am and start to relate to me on that level, then for the most part, I do that off of social media. To me, that's not what that's for. But I also like to, have fun, and I use it as a communication tool. I realize that's where a lot of people that I care about are. So I use it more as a direct communication tool. I'll be in people's DMs. So the people that I know and people that I'm communicating with, there's just another way. If I can't text you, or if texting is not the best option, then, Facebook Messenger, or, for people I know who are on X that aren't on Facebook, I can get to them on X, or vice versa. But that's primarily all that I do. And I try not to spend a lot of time consuming put out on social media. Again, just because if somebody's going to be shaping my mind and my thoughts and my perceptions, I don't want it to be a lot of nonsense out there. So I've scaled back a whole lot from
Tremendously.
what I to. When the more it feels like noise and the more it feels like everybody's talking about that, the more I'm likely to pay less attention to it.
The more likely I am to uninstall for a week and detox.
You know what? I feel good about the fact that whether I install it or uninstall it, it's there, and I control whether I look at it or not. There's apps on my phone that I haven't looked at because I'm that guy who if I say I'm not into that, I'm not into that. I just don't look at it. And if
I'm that girl.
Is passed, then I'll say, okay, well, I'll take a look. But that's the choice that I make.
Well, I'm that girl. It's just better for me to take it off my phone completely.
You got to know yourself, right?
And I know myself. I just take it off completely. And, really, that's what I use my phone for. I don't talk a lot on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I use it for social media. So
Gotcha.
taking that off of my phone really just makes the phone something that can be in my purse, and I'm not even thinking about it.
Got you. Well, here we got an interesting question that came up. How do you handle situations where something your partner posted on social media bothers you? Do you address it immediately or do you let it slide? What could possibly bother you about what your partner posts on social media? I mean, if you're with this person, then you know what kind of how they represent themselves to the world and to the public. So what I can't imagine what would bother me about something you posted on social media.
I'm going to take answer this question from things that I have seen, not from things that I have personally experienced with you or any other person on social media. Sometimes women can be insecure, and sometimes men can just have very errant behaviors when it comes to how they interact with other women on social media. So
Mhm.
you hear women complain, "Oh, you liked all of her pictures, and you slid into her DMs and this and that and this and that." And for whatever reason, whether the person has a history of just being disrespectful, or the woman has, low self-esteem or is jealous hearted, that could be something that could bother them. And I mean, at the end of the day, that social media account belongs to that individual. You can't necessarily control another person's social media account. That is their own individual account. But what you can do is address the disrespect that you feel, or turn it back around on yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel so jealous about it?
Yeah.
Or why do I not understand that this bothers my partner, and I might need to change my behavior so that my partner is not upset by my behavior? Because at the end of the day, are you really that thirsty?
Mm. Right.
I mean, really? Are you just so unsettled in your being, and that you have to be everywhere at the
Hmm.
same time?
Right.
Have you,
Another
did
thing,
you,
I asked myself the question, whatever it is that I'm posting online, would I do it if you were right there with me? Is it something I would say if I was live and in person to this other person? Uh,
mm-hmm,
or is it something that I would just, blurt out in a crowd? If I were in a meeting and everybody was just sitting around talking about whatever they talk about, is this something I would say in that type of setting? And if it's not something that I think would be cool to say or do in your presence, or would be appropriate for the situation, I just, that's how I can control and throttle my own behavior. It's got
mm-hmm.
to make sense in order to do it. And if you're doing something thinking that it's not going to be seen or only certain people are going to see it, get that out of your mind, because no matter what you do online, it's going to be out
Mm-hmm.
there to be seen by everybody who can see it. So don't fool yourself.
Yeah, don't fool yourself, because you have people who will take what you say and use it at the appropriate time to embarrass you.
Yeah, true.
So
I hear
that
that.
happens.
I hear that people who are looking for jobs, or there are some jobs where what you do on social media comes into play. So
Mm.
you always
It's
have to
like
be
having that. It's like having that non-business email.
right, right.
Miss
Yeah.
hot and thirsty at gmail.com. Don't put that on your resume.
Right, right. Don't
Have
represent
a
people,
professional email address.
or don't be surprised if you getting funny looks all the time, because that's your email address. Hot
Mm-hmm. Miss hot and thirsty.
gmail.com.
Okay, babe. So we're gonna go on to our second point, is just talking about trust building in the digital space. And I think that we kind of spoke about that already.
Hmm.
I think it's important to have transparency in your social media usage. I know when I'm sending something or doing something on social media that has to do with Love Space and Time or something that I feel like you're interested in, I'll tag you in it. I'll tag you in whatever post. Now, it may take you a couple days to see it, but I'm going to tag you in it. And also, it's important to address the behaviors that erode your trust, such as secretive interactions or excessive time spent engaging with others online. Now, I don't know if the gaming is considered social media, but sometimes you see women who complain about the amount of time that their partners spend playing video games and have gone so far as to delete accounts. And these men have been able to make money from these accounts, but the partner is so insecure or jealous about it that they delete the person's account. I can't understand how that's very childish. That's very, very childish. But we engage in childish behavior sometimes, and I think that before I even got to the point of you deleting someone's personal account, that deserved a conversation. That didn't happen.
Right. Deleting somebody else's account. That's crossing a major line. First of all, there shouldn't even be issues where you're with somebody who feels that way about you, and it shouldn't be issues where you feel like you have to do that to the person that you're with. That just means there's a whole lot of other conversations that should take place that aren't or haven't taken place.
So, babe, how often do you check my social media activity?
I don't have time to check my own social media activity. So if I
right.
It's just my thought on it. If I got time to check your social media activity, like I'm investigating you or something like that, I got way too much time on my hands, and I should be way more important with my time. That shouldn't be a thing. If how you represent, I know how you represent yourself in the world, and I'm confident and secure in how you carry yourself. So I don't need to check up on you. And I know that if somebody or something comes up that's not appropriate and that disturbs your peace, I know that you'll share it with me. So then I'll have something to pay attention to. But other than that, we got work to do. We got other stuff to do. So stuff that good, bad, or indifferent, the stuff that people are saying on social media, most of the time, if they directing stuff at you, they're wasting time too. So you don't have time to waste on time wasters.
And one thing that's just become so glaringly evident to me is that people lie on social media all the time. They create these scenarios that are not true because they feel like it's going to get them attention, and these accounts are being monetized, which to me makes it worse. It gives them even more incentive to create stuff that is not actually happening. It's just for entertainment. It's about as bad as the commercials that I mute when that come on my TV. I mute the commercials, but people are creating these skits and different things because, or saying these provocative statements because they want people to go in the comments and comment on it because the account has been monetized. And I think that it's making a lot of us very what's the word I'm looking for? It was on the tip of my tongue.
Disingenuous.
There it is. It's making a lot of us disingenuous. You have this facade that you're presenting on social media, and that's not the real you, which makes you, in my opinion, even less trustworthy.
You know what people have to understand is there was this thing called the dumbing down of America, right? Where, unfortunately, the intelligence of the masses of people, all of our intelligence is being insulted. We're being played by these
daily
that own the platforms. Okay. Facebook, I know you think it's a way for you to interact with people. Facebook is a business. If they can get your attention, they can sell your information to advertisers, to people, to companies that want you to spend your money with what they have for their products or services. Point blank. How they say it, period. Okay.
It's the same type of algorithm.
You are a consumer. And as long as you are a consumer, somebody is out there thinking of how to get your money or how to get your
money out of To
That's
take it
all
before you
social
know it's
media is
gone.
for, and that's all it's about. If you putting more weight and more significance and importance into it than that, then you the fool. It is what it is. We
It
can
is what it
use
is.
this. We can use this, and we can go somewhere with it. We can build up. We can make ourselves better human beings. We can find out how to improve our relationships, how to improve our own self and well-being. We can do. We
Mhm.
can use it for that. We can convey information that can be relevant to your life, or you can just be a consumer. Just take what they give you.
Mhm. It's just like what they call the algorithm. It's on social media. It's on the television programming that we watch.
Hmm.
They know what zip code you're in. They know the demographics of the zip code that you're in. I mean, every day, like last week, a couple weeks ago, and last week, the person from the census office was coming to my apartment, leaving his card at my door, telling me that I have to do this and that and the third, or I'm going to be breaking the law. They want to know who lives here. They want to know how much money I make. They want to know if I'm male or female and what all of my demographics. They want to know that. All of that plays a part in the marketing that is on the TV,
Yep.
that is on the social media. So they know what to market to you. And so we see the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why do you think we see so much police brutality in our social media? It's
Hmm.
directed at us. It's a mind game.
Hmm.
It's a mind game. We see the same crap that's designed to keep us in the same mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's endeavor. Let's learn to use it to have different kind of conversations. Vibrate higher.
Vibrate higher. And again, that 24-hour uninstalling sounds really good right now. Break the chains.
Sounding better as we go on.
Break the chains. Break the chains.
For sure. All right. So moving on to another point. Um, let's see. Communication tips for resolving social media conflicts. Again, conflict. Why is everything conflict related? It shouldn't be. We should be able to interact with people and it not be a conflict and not be, something that stokes insecurity and things like that. It,
Mm-hmm.
I hope I will see it in my lifetime. We will evolve to the point where the stuff that is and matters so much to people, the stuff that's not worthwhile, I believe that we'll see that stuff fall away because there's much more important things for us to put our mind, our energy, our spirits into. But if you
Babe.
could use social media to encourage open conversations
Mm-hmm.
about things like mental health, about
Mm-hmm.
things that people are feeling that they're just not talking about, that if they just explored a little bit, they can come up with solutions to problems. If we can use social media for that, then a lot of what's considered conflicts and the problems that we have, they'll just fall by the wayside because we're operating at a higher frequency. So problems and conflicts don't exist at that frequency.
Yeah, we gotta vibrate higher.
Hey, things like active listening skills. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what's being said before you respond. So many times, I remember a couple of years ago, it was all about the clap back. Everybody had to come back to what was being said on social media. I got to leave a comment. I got to comment on this. I didn't even comment. Like that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what's being said and who it's coming from, why it's being said in the first place. And
Right.
then you realize not everything needs a response from you.
It doesn't.
Or if you are going to have to respond, think about it. Think about what you're saying. Think about what's being said and think about what you're going to respond with. And come back with something that's actually going to lead the conversation higher. Because if you go low and somebody else go low and y'all just keep on clapping back at one another,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how much time and energy and brain power you can waste on those comments and run on, events that just go on forever and ever and ever.
That's a good point though, because I really do. I've thought about what you're saying right now,
Mhm.
and instead of trying to drag somebody for filth, I really just want to redirect the conversation to a higher point, because not only am I responding to the person who left the comment, it's for everybody else who's going to come and read it.
Right.
And if I'm on social media calling myself a celestial being, then I'm going to carry myself as such. So my conversation level does need to be higher, and I'm striving towards that.
Yep.
Not just responding to the person who wrote whatever, but also for everybody who's coming along afterwards that's going to read it.
See, and I think about it like I don't even need a special name. Vernon is special enough. People used to say, "What would Jesus do?" I want them to say, "Well, what would Vernon do?"
What would Vernon do?
I gotta represent. I don't know who's coming after me. I really don't, and I don't know who's looking at me or paying attention to me now. So I got to think for myself, and I got to think for those people also.
It's like I had to go through this defensive driving course this week, and one of the things that it was talking about was anticipating what other people are going to do. That is an important skill when you're in your car driving. So it's kind of like you have to anticipate on social media, anticipate what the effects of what you're about to do are going to have beyond that very moment.
Right. Don't be an offensive driver.
Don't be an offensive.
Be a defensive driver.
So bring up our next question. I put another question in the chat, so let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what steps can we take as a couple and other couples take to prioritize direct communication over relying on social media for connection? This is like the easiest one out of all of them, I think. Go ahead.
So, what do you mean by prioritize direct communication? What does that mean?
It means, what I think it means is not relying on having to go through an app to communicate with each other. Direct communication means me dialing your phone number or me sending you a text message directly to your number or me leaving you a voice note for you to listen to.
So you can't do that using the DM in Facebook, or you can't. DM is not direct communication with the person?
Sure you can, but in our case, you're not even on there like that.
True.
So if you have a couple where one person is more heavily into social media than the other, then it's kind of lost because I sent you something at 9 a.m. and you're just now seeing it at 12 using those Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. But if I'm calling you in that moment and saying, "Hey, babe, this is a question I had. What do you think about this?" You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, that's what the direct communication is.
I think especially when you start bringing multiple apps in. I mean, because you think about it, you got WhatsApp, you got Telegram, you got Discord groups, then you got Facebook, social media, Twitter and X and Instagram. That's 6 right there. That's just the 6 that I know about. Then you have your regular text, from phone to phone. So I think that it would be helpful if you, as a couple, you just say, "Hey, this is my primary means of communication right here." If it's going to be Facebook Messenger, then okay, Facebook Messenger, you can get me any other way. I may miss it, but I know if I see something there, you'll get a quick response. There are some people who straight up tell you, "Hey, don't leave a voicemail for me because I don't do voicemail messages. Text me."
I don't either.
If you text me, it'll get lost. If you take the time and actually speak to me, then it is important enough to know that I need to address it. So, on one hand, you have to decide between you as a couple, what is your primary mode of communication going to be? But
what?
On the other hand, let me get this out. On the other hand, I see a difference between the avenues that you have for direct communication and using social media to interact with everybody else. Okay. If you are, if I need to communicate with you, I'm not going to do it through a post on Facebook. Not, to me, that's not direct communication. That's like going out in the public and yelling something that I should have a conversation with you about. the place and the time for everything, and the public forum of social media might not be the place where you want to have conversations that should be private, one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely direct public communication. If you're going on Facebook and tagging your person, it's not necessarily private. It's direct, but it's definitely not private because everybody else is going to see that.
And if it's direct, then what are you putting it in a public place for?
Exactly. So yeah, I think that, and one thing, the thing that I was going to say too is to make sure that this is what I do. Other people may not do this, but to make sure that I don't miss any direct communication from you, you have your own ringtone. So I know when it's you texting me as opposed to, any other person. Or I'll pin the conversation at the top of my messages to make sure that I don't miss anything. And I do that with my children as well. I'll pin the conversation so that it doesn't move down the message list in the text.
Doesn't get lost in the sauce.
It doesn't get lost in the sauce. So people that you know that you talk to frequently throughout your day, that you don't want to miss any calls or texts from, you give them their own notification and you pin in your message center. So that's how I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff. So how do you go about setting those boundaries? How do we go about making sure that the lines that need to be there are clearly identified, so you don't have to have no painful situations that you have to
for me, it's just communication. Thankfully, the type of person that you are, there hasn't been any type of drama like that. Like there's no women in my box talking about, oh, your man this and your man that. That has never happened. And I give thanks for that because people go through that, but if it was a situation where I needed to set boundaries, then you just talk about it. Mm-hmm. How do you get anything accomplished if you don't talk about it with your person? Not making up stories in your head, right. Not talking to your girlfriend about it or talking to your homeboy about it, but talking to the person that you're actually in the relationship with and say, this makes me feel nervous looking at your interaction with this person. Mm-hmm. I feel a certain way when I see you interact with this person on Facebook because, I don't know, maybe it's my own insecurity or maybe I feel like you all are kikiing too much and I don't like that.
You visiting the twins too much, kikiing, haha.
But you got to talk about it. I have friends right now who are not friends with their partner on Facebook because somebody is jealous of their interactions.
Wow.
And that's a boundary for them. It works for them, Yeah. And I've always felt like as long as I can get you offline, being online doesn't make a difference to me. I'm not that pressed about it. If I can pick up the phone and say, hey, come here, I'm not pressed about talking to you on Facebook or wherever else. Mm-hmm. I'm not pressed about it.
Yeah. And more often than not, if I've had an interaction with somebody online that I get excited about, I come and share it with you because it's the only interactions I get excited about is something that could lead to something beneficial for mm-hmm. me, for us, for anything that I'm involved in. So if I'm working on something, involved in something, or come across something, I get excited like a little kid. I want to come back. Look what I got. Look what happened. So that it's not. I'm not looking for any type of interaction that I can't share with you.
Mm-hmm. So. Got it. Yeah, social media is just that. It's a way that you can meet people that you maybe would not have met under regular circumstances, to have opportunities that you may not have had under certain circumstances. Just going out in your everyday life. Mm-hmm. It's a great tool for that, and we have to be mindful that it is just a tool. And as TikTok has shown us, it could be taken away at any moment.
Yep.
If somebody decides they want to take it off, it'll be gone. And then what?
You can't
And then
be
what?
can't be dependent like it's an addiction. If you
Exactly.
social media gives you a way to interact with people, but it's just one platform, one way to interact. If the people are important enough to you, the goal should be to get your interactions off of that platform anyway. You got to give people
Into real life.
you
Mm-hmm.
got to give people a way to reach you off of that platform because again,
Mm-hmm.
you don't control it. If you're taking off the
Nope.
platform, if the other person's taking off the platform, if there's an emergency, what about coming up with an emergency plan? It's good that those platforms are there because they do have useful tools. You know, you see with the fires that are going on in California,
Right.
Facebook, for one example, has that check-in feature. You can go on there real quick and let people know, hey, I'm all right, or hey, this is going on, that's going on. Again, it
Right.
has a use, it has a purpose, but you got to have a way that you can say, okay, well, hey, this is worth more time than just this platform. So here's how to reach me directly.
Right. Right.
So here's
Mm-hmm.
another question. Maybe we can end it on this note. What social
Mm-hmm.
media habits make you feel closer to your partner, and which ones create distance or tension? What are some
Um,
ideas that we can give out there for people on how they can use social media to strengthen the bonds?
so first and foremost, this podcast, I feel like it has helped us to grow together as a couple, as intellectual beings, because this is an opportunity for us to have intelligent, higher conversation
Hmm.
that we can share with everybody. And creating this, putting the research in, talking about the topics, it's just bonded us tremendously. And I get to know you deeper than what's your favorite color or what's your favorite movie. We are actually working together on a project. And in my heart and mind is very near and dear to my heart and mind because I've gotten to know you that much better and deeper through this podcast. And then also too, I like sending you the funny little memes, the things that remind me of you, of course. For me, it's just a tool that can really help us, you know, strengthen and build the bond that we have. Now, as far as create distance or tension, social media really has nothing to do with that. I mean, we're really literally in a long distance relationship. So for me, if I'm feeling tension, it's just because we're in a long distance relationship. You're not right here where I can touch you,
Hmm.
but at least we have an opportunity to, do the video chat or send the cutesy little things to each other that make us laugh and things of that nature. So that's how I feel about it as far as, making me feel closer to you. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for this podcast. And, of course I have, this vision of this becoming this major thing. But even if it's just something that we share between the two of us, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I think that the you mentioned tension before, the tension of being in a long distance relationship, just the tension of having distance between us makes any other tension in just, it doesn't even matter. That ain't real tension. There's nothing like the tension of being apart from the person that you want to be with the most. So anything else is inconsequential. It don't even matter. Um, Again, I feel so good about the idea that, you know, other women or whatever else could be competing for my attention just doesn't. I feel good about the fact that they got nothing coming. Sorry, hey, I'm already spoken for, and I'm, so and everything else, the way that we interact with one another and the way that we use social media and all the different ways that we can connect with one another, really, to me, it's it's helped and it's made it easier to strengthen the commitment that we made to ourselves and to one another.
Mhm.
So, I look at the bright side of it, and I see the bright side of it, and I hope that everybody else who's tuning in and listening can, find something good that would help them along their way as well.
Yeah, this has been a great thing for us. And because we both like to work on projects, it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Mhm. For
All
sure.
right. So that is going to conclude our conversation today about navigating social media and digital boundaries. And once again, I want to invite everyone to check out our Facebook page, Love Space and Time. We are asking you to follow us because we are striving to build our followership so that we can go live from Facebook. So
Mhm.
we're 75% of the way, and we just want to ask you to support us in that way. We also have a private Facebook page, a Facebook group, where we will be posting our couples affirmations. We played a little snippet at the beginning of this podcast today. So it's going to be posted inside of our private Facebook group. So you'll need to join that. And then, of course, we do have the Instagram. And of course, this is being carried on our YouTube page, Love Space and Time Podcast.
Don't
And
forget
once
to like,
again,
subscribe, and share
like,
this
subscribe,
episode.
and share. And we are getting better with this StreamYard. Next time, we're going to have some more bells and whistles on here. And then before we close, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Camnon Business Services.
Yes. One more again, helping new entrepreneurs, small businesses, and nonprofits get financially stronger. Visit camnonservices.com for your blueprint to success.
Your blueprint to success. So thank you everybody for your presence here tonight. Thank you so much, Vernon, for being here. Everybody stay warm. Stay off the highways if you can help it.
Mm-hmm. If you have to go to work tomorrow, be safe.
Yes.
Use intelligence. If you got to go in late, let them know I'll be in late.
Okay, so that's going to do it for this episode. We will see you next week.
All righty. Peace and blessings.